Hey guys, what's going on? Bubba's coming at you with another D2 video. This time we've got some Paladin action and we've got the Griswold set. Now the Griswold set is a little more costly than other sets because they're just hard to find. And now with foe being a thing, um, the Griswold set was actually pretty good for Foedens. Um, so it rose in price a little bit because of that, but still a fun build. But today we're using Vengeance Pally, and we've got this thing with all the lightning facets in it. Um, so you can see just decked out with tons of lightning facets. Um, yeah, and because we're using Vengeance, we're trying to pump up our lightning damage as much as possible. Um, and to be fair, you could maybe even do this with fire or cold with the new Sundered charms. So if you get a fire charm, pump it up with fire facets, or maybe even do a mix. But we are using Holy Shock as well, so that's adding to our lightning damage. So yeah. Anyway, so we got the Griswold set maxed with lightning facets. We got a lay on hands for some attack speed and some resists. We've got Gore Riders giving us a little open wounds, deadly strike, crushing blow, just a little extra. We've got this mana lifesteal ring. We've got a Raven Frost, and we've got Thunder Gods Vigor. Um, you could really use a ton of other things, but this does add a little lightning damage, um, and gives us some strength, vitality, some lightning absorb. Um, Again, you could wear like string of ears, dungos, whatever. I just thought it'd be cool. Throw on the T gods, get a little max lightning res, lightning absorb, and then we're using High Lord's Wrath just for some extra deadly strike, some +1 all skills. Again, you could use Mara's, you could use what is it, Sashrin's Chance or whatever to boost your auras. Whatever. Um, the main thing is the Gris set, and everything else, except for the Raven Frost, you kind of want that for the Cannot Be Frozen. So then for our inventory, we're just using some combat skillers, and of course, we're using the Sundering Charm, and then we're just using some 20 life, 5 all res, and of course, Annie, and a torch, and of course, we have Call to Arms and Spirit. Um, Now for our stats, of course, just enough to wear all our stuff. We do have max block, um, and a decent amount of vitality left over, and we have 95 lightning res. I keep showing this because I want to show that, even with this negative 75 lightning res, we can still easily get some decent lightning res. And of course, because of this, the rest of our resistances are way overcapped, which isn't a bad thing. When we get lower res, it's not going to be as bad on our other things. Obviously, we get lower res, we're going to be low on lightning res, but it's going to be okay. So now for the skills. In combat skills, obviously we got Vengeance to the max, and we have a point in Holy Shield. Then we're going full Holy Shock, just to add a little extra something. And we've got max resist lightning, just to pump up our damage. This actually pumps up Vengeance damage, gives it 10% lightning damage per level, and I believe it also pumps up our Holy Shock damage, so might as well max it out, and that gives us an extra 10 lightning resist maximum. And then we put some points into these just for a little extra damage, because Vengeance adds fire, lightning, and cold damage to each successful attack. And as you can see, it benefits from resist fire, resist cold as well. So we put a few points into those, but also We put points in those to also get just some extra 5% max resist in each one. So that's how we're getting our 80 extra resist here. Then obviously we got a point in the redemption, point in the salvation, just in case we want to swap. And obviously that gives us a point in the vigor too, so when we want to be a fast boy. I did try this with pumping salvation, and it still did okay with salvation instead of holy shock. Because salvation does give you 2% increased elemental damage per level to your vengeance. But obviously we weren't getting the big 20k. This was like 5, 6k top. So, I mean, holy shock is better. Plus we're getting holy shock damage straight out. So, yeah. I am using a conviction merc, so we're getting like negative 17 res from that level 12 conviction. Remember, they changed it, so now it's only 1/5 viable, so instead of getting the full 85, we're only getting like 17. But if you look, all of these facets we have are giving us negative 60 res. So right now we have like, we're giving all the enemies like negative 72 lightning res from 95 on the immunes. So it's a lot of damage. Let's go give it a try and see what we can do. Got our lightning, and you can see we one-hit stuff when we roll high. Now remember, this is only doing like 2,000 to 20,000 damage, so but when we do roll high, we just one-shot stuff. And you can see I'm out of mana. I forgot to swap to redemption. This is why I keep redemption, just so I can one-shot. And I forgot to do that. But you basically kill a pack, swap to redemption. If you've ever played a paladin, it's pretty much what you do on every build. I don't like using, like some people on their Hammerdens will use the meditation merc. I don't like that because you just swap to redemption and you're full health, you're full mana. So why would I need meditation aura, right? It's just personal preference. I don't like using it. I would much rather use a different merc on paladin than meditation aura. Let's kill this guy. Vizier. Lightning immune, by the way. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And yeah, this is another just chill build where you just like use one skill. We're not swapping a lot. We do swap to redemption once in a while. But I mean, if you wanted to, I'll just keep redemption on, and let's see how we do. You can see the damage isn't bad even with redemption left on. So yeah, you could totally just keep redemption on if you wanted to, but obviously doing a little more damage would be better. Just a fun little build, really. Something different. Again, another different build instead of teleporting around as a Hammerden or a Sorceress. You know, this build does cost a little more than some other sets. It's a little harder to find. Most of the set pieces in this set are pretty rare, so that definitely could be a factor. It's not like you're going to be running this like day one, whereas with like Alder set, something like that, you could be running pretty decently early. The Griswald set is definitely going to take you a while longer to run. But all in all, still a fun build. Let's see how this build does against Diablo. If you watch the Alders video I did, we took care of Diablo pretty fast. Not too bad. I say we do enough damage to farm chaos. Again, it's a little bit slower. Now we could, with like this build, and like I said, if you watch the Alders build that I made, you could just run, pop the seals, kill the bosses, and spawn Diablo like a lot faster instead of doing a full clear on chaos. So you just run over here, hit the seals, kill the boss, run up here, hit the seals, kill the boss, run down here, hit the seals, kill the boss, and then run and kill Diablo. You could do that with this build. It's safe enough. So yeah, you could do a lot faster chaos, but I prefer to kind of walk, especially if this is a terror zone, or uh, if you're doing another terror zone in the game. Obviously, I would prefer to walk, get the extra XP, get the extra drops. But yeah, all in all, a fun build using Griswold's set. Obviously, this build could probably do a lot better if you wore like a crescent moon. Maybe like a dual dream setup. Maybe it would do a lot better. But I mean, like I said, we're getting negative 60 res from all this. So that's Crescent Moon gives like negative 35 res. So Griswold's may be the way to go um, if you're doing something like this. I mean, if nothing else, you could use a Crescent Moon, Dual Dream, and still use the Griswold's plate maybe and fill it full of 3 facets. um, you still wouldn't be hitting quite the 60, but anyway, little fun build using just the Griswold set. Yeah, hope to see you guys when the new ladder drops, and I will catch you later.